Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Dee. Good morning. Two incredibly cool dudes. Good morning. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Pops isn't so cranky today. I wasn't cranky, but I was sad. I had a sad start to my yesterday, the night before, as I legitimately was showing you guys. But I'll tell you, getting out and doing some grocery shopping, etc., sure made me feel better. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Another quick thanks to Kitty Catzilla. I don't know if he's here yet. Catzilla. He dropped some money. He dropped some groceries in the old grocery cart yesterday. Incredible thanks to him. Good morning, Mello. Glad to see you made it through the storm. Glad to see it. I've been tracking you. So good morning. What happened yesterday? I was just sad, more sad than I have been lately, because not only the government shutdown and how it's impacting people, but a few of my friends reached out to me and talked to me about how it was happening to them directly. And I have a heart to help, and some I can and some I can't. And then I paired that with a lot of the things I see on social media lately. And it's so hateful and thoughtless, and the lack of compassion is just mind-boggling. So we try to make up for it a little bit here. We do our part. Everybody does, not just Pops, but everybody here. So good morning, thank you. Not to belabor any of that this morning, because we're going to have Herbie Von Werby Kabroken Furby Kabop is going to be here. Yeah, thank you, Must Love. So Herbie's going to be here at 9:30 and do some kind of a tech talk. We're looking forward to that. Right, Mello? Especially in your situation. Yeah. Mello, do you have a Cash App? Mello, do you have a Cash App? Let me know. No, you don't. Okay. All right. If you ever get one, let me know what it is. Okay. Good morning, Kitty Cat Zilla. You dropped a lot of groceries in my friend's cart yesterday, so once again, I want to thank you. Thank you very, very much. My friend does too. I made sure to let him know that a random cat. I protect people's anonymity, but I let him know a random cat was deeply involved. Okay? Good morning. Yep. Good morning. I'm going to get started real quick this morning. And it's appreciative of you guys to thank him too. Mello, email me your address. No, I can't send stuff out of the state. Never mind. Boy, I wish I could help you. That's a shame. I wish I could help. I'm absolutely available for questions, Mello. And I do have a manual on Amazon that is a quick start manual for people. It's a quick start manual. How to grow mushrooms in 10 easy steps and I'm going to tell you it works well. You already have the book. Okay, well you practically have a farm going then. Your farm is well on its way. A couple of quick stories here this morning, and then we'll just have just about enough time to at 9:30 get good morning, Mushy. Good morning to everybody I haven't said good morning to. Even you, Polymono, I'm not sure what you got deleted for saying, but stick around. We say nice stuff here, and we don't talk about religion, and we don't talk about politics. So anything else, if you want to say something good and kind and uplifting and supportive, we're right here. Excuse me for 1 minute. Okay. Sorry, I had a little something stuck on my lippy lip right there. Good morning, Gypsy at Heart. Is that you, Miss Jennifer? Is that the same, or is that a different Gypsy? Gypsy at Heart, that's a neat name. Good morning. Is that you in Preston, or is that a different Gypsy? With all our names changes and stuff, it's hard to sometimes know right now. Good morning to John Doe. Yo, John Doe. Caw, caw. 2 hawks are here. She's new. Gypsy at Heart. Would you guys send Gypsy at Heart some donuts, please? And also, John Doe, Mike O. Throw some chocolate donuts at them, please. Okay? Well, thank you, Nick. I've actually been up for 2 hours. But thank you. Maybe I don't want to go back to bed. No. There they go. Those are for you guys. Those welcome new people. We throw donuts at new people. Okay? Chocolate donuts. We do not have anything to do with white powder donuts. We found out that it's a trigger for pops. Pharmacy runner, good morning. Okay. Let's get started. Gypsy at Heart, I like that. I like that a lot. Gypsy at Heart, stick around here. I think you're going to like the group. Okay? Joe, no powder, no crack. We can't put white crunchies on top. I'm starting to think even walnuts or macadamia nuts. Confession. Nick, I got you. You told me I look tired. Thank you. I wonder what you look like. Kidding. I feel great. Not tired one little bit. Should I give you guys a quick confession? I'll save it for another time. I'll save that one. In the meantime, let's talk about 2 really cool things. Okay, we're on talking about cool stuff today, not sad stuff. Well, part of this is thank you, Mr. Phillips. Captain Obvious, you just love Pop's confessions. I know you, girl. It's always a good thing to confess. All right, I'll confess. Thank you, Anthony. Oh, Mellow. I have a hardest time even going fishing in my local river right now. I'm so busy. Okay, I got to confess this one. I was talking about the nuts that can go on top of a chocolate donut. I told you guys about when I was 18, myself and my buddy, we were about 18, just out of high school, and the Rolling Stones concert was coming to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. So we went and got a plastic sheet, like, a document cover plastic sheet, and we cut it into little 1/4-inch squares. And we stood out in front of the Coliseum for the first half hour as traffic was going in. And we sold clear window pane acid. $5 a hit back then. That's like a 20. Okay, $5. Get yourself some clear window pane. And everybody going in the concert wanted some boosty. We pocketed a couple hundred, $200, $300, $400. And after the first hour, we got the hell out of there at about 45 minutes. We timed it and we said, you know what? They're going to either stop, they're not going to be feeling the effects in about 45 minutes. So we only have a limited window of opportunity to sell our window. I still look back at that and I go, Pops, you know, you did have a shicey side. It was pure plastic, Joe. You were a little bit on the, and then on those poor people. Like, a little on the shicey side, a little bit of a hustler. Yeah. Until they threw me in I was even hustling religion. Big old hustle. Tell you one other one we did. You guys ready for this one? Take a macadamia nut and some aluminum foil and cut the macadamia nut in like 4 quarters. Okay? Wrap each one in aluminum foil, and you got some crack for sale. Because they'll open the aluminum foil and they'll look at it and they'll go, okay. And then you got to get out of town quick though, because those guys come back with guns. Okay? It looks like really good crack because it's yellowy. Okay, Captain Obvious, I should have been shot 8 times, not just 2. You guys, I've never even told you guys the shootouts that Pops has been in. Wounded, I tell you, I got wounds on my legs, both of them. Okay, 2 different times. Good morning, Gypsy. You know, Gypsy, each of those, it's backwards in your view because of the reverse camera. But each of those pins are people that either have been here, been to one of our mush fests, or the very special people that I work with, I put a pin in the flag on their city. Okay. Anyways, that was back in the day. Quick draw Kirby. That was back in the day when I found myself very willing to be a hustler, otherwise known as someone that ripped people off. Divine intervention. Are you guys ready for this one? Yeah, Captain Obvious, don't talk to me about my motorcycle accidents. Some of us here know Pops as by the pseudonym Iron Balls. Iron Balls! And then my nieces and nephews call me Unk Man. So, you know, when you've been around 67 years, you earn stories. Good morning to James. James, I just shouted you out. Okay? To email Iron Balls. Yeah, that was Popsalopsy. Divine intervention. Holy. The Catholic Church. This is a badass story right here. Okay? The Catholic Church just paid for a sexual abuse survivor to trip on mushrooms in Oregon. Chuck Lovett, 63, was molested by a priest as a child. I have a molestation story I could tell you guys sometime. An attempted molestation story. It didn't go all the way. Decades later, his Pennsylvania diocese offered him $10,000 for therapy. Chuck, here's 10 grand, go away. Go get some therapy. After months of persistence, he convinced them to put up 6 grand for a legal psilocybin retreat instead, making him possibly the first abuse victim to get Catholic Church funding for psychedelic therapy. That's pretty phenomenal. The accountability is remarkable. Even before you consider how conservative Catholic Christians have often viewed psychedelics, yet research increasingly shows psilocybin potential for treating complex trauma, especially the kind of shame, disassociation, and trust violations that come with sexual abuse. Even religious leaders themselves have had life-changing mushroom journeys. For thousands of clergy abuse survivors still seeking healing, this story offers hope. Now, the diocese did make it clear that it was a one-time exception, and they still prioritize traditional counseling. Still, one exception can become precedent. And as far as we know, hell hasn't frozen over yet. What do you think about that story? Give me 5 people that got to give the old Catholic Church an attaboy. It's probably a really, really forward-thinking senior pastor at the church in the diocese. Maybe even the bishop. Probably took bishop approval. But you know what? I like that story a lot. Look, we recognize that even psychedelic therapy is an option for you, Chuck. I love it. I just love it. We're on our way. We're on a rocket ship. I'm telling you right now. Strap in. Get yourself a facilitator license or a certificate right now. That you are going to be having a very, very rewarding career, even a side job, and be helping and healing people. Okay? Oh, speaking of NIFR, facilitator, a certificate, Captain Obvious. Speaking of Niffy wrote to me yesterday. Hold on. I guess since they did the name changeables here. Okay. 1 second. We had that switch over, I think, the beginning of last week. She said, she wrote me some really beautiful things, and then at the end of it, she also wrote, I also want to mention that ever since our names changed in YouTube, many users have not been able to see my comments. I spoke with Derek Anderson about it, and he asked people in the chat today if they could see my messages. It turns out, and that was yesterday, only people who have chosen all chat instead of top chat have been able to see my messages. So where is the all chat? Derek, where do you switch it from all chat, from top chat to all chat? How do you do it? Hit the 2 lines with the circle. Wait. Hit the 2 lines with the circles. Three lines. 3 dots at upper. I don't have 3 dots in my upper. No, I don't have that. On top right, 3 dots in live chat setting and 2 dots on iPhone. Top right. I just don't have that. No, there it is. There it is. Okay, I got it now. It's for me, it's a lower left-hand screen, and it looks like a TV screen or a talking bubble. Okay, and that's just because I'm on my iPad. So I went down there, and there is, if I turn that on, it says Talk Chat, which means some messages may not be available. Live chat, all messages are available. And there's a none. Hide all chat messages. I would never do that. Okay. I found it. I was already on all chat. So that makes sense. I didn't know that there was other ones. Okay, on some computers, it's in a corner. Push something in one of the corners. Okay? Streety, that's exactly what it is. You're leaving it up to an algorithm to decide. Nurs told me to try this yesterday. Fire cider. Reach out to Nurs Ratchet. When she's around, ask her for some fire cider. I'm not sure what she charges for it because she sent this as a gift. But very, very good stuff. It just bumped me up a bit. Bumped me up a little bit. I'm going to take a little dose every day for this week, for the rest of the week. But thank you. All right. Jesus Christ said, you're so out of control. Jesus Christ said he might have been sexually abused by AI. Oh, leave him alone. Don't go near Jesus Christ in Australia. Leave him in the reflection pool for another week. Nipper, we can all see you now. Oh, that's true, Streety. In his case, you know he's consenting. Okay? How about this? Great story. I'll just hit it briefly because we only have 6 minutes until Herbie Von Worby Kebab time. Oh, geez, I gotta get the phone holder too. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Fungi Perfecti. Fungi Perfecti, LLC, has just earned the living wage certification, which ensures that all employees receive a full family living wage. Olympia, Washington, Fungi Perfecti, LLC, makers of Host Defense Mushrooms, is proud to announce its official certification as a leading living wage employer. This prestigious designation affirms that every member of the company's staff earns at or above the full family living wage for their location. Now that is the way you're supposed to do it, okay? Last year, Fungi Perfecti partnered with Living Wage for US to undergo a comprehensive evaluation of its total compensation package, including base pay, company-sponsored medical benefits, 401 retirement plans, and matching contributions, discretionary bonuses, and commission structures. The analysis confirmed that Fungi Perfecti's compensation model meets and exceeds the living wage thresholds across all its positions. I'm feeling ethical here. Paying a living wage is about dignity, equality, integrity, said the vice president of Fungi Perfecti. We're proud of this commitment. Okay? Fungi Perfecti is a family-owned company founded by renowned mycologist Paul Stamets, who launched Host Defense under Fungi Perfecti with the goal of building a bridge between people and fungi. Host Defense, that's the name of their brand. Host Defense is now the leading mushroom supplement brand in the United States. These are the ones you see, the mushroom capsules on the shelves in your health food areas or your health food stores. These are the leading brand. Now I got to tell you, the capsules themselves are made from myceliated spawn, not fruit. There's a slight difference in the way it works, etc., but it allows them to work at the volume that they work at. And it has been proven scientifically to have plenty of psilocybin in it that converts to psilocin, which goes into your brain. And what we're starting to find out, it creates your serotonin, actually your H2A receptor, your 2A receptors get greasy, is the word they're using now. And while serotonin can affect those receptors, serotonin has a harder time. When we grease it with microdosing, grease our receptors, it receives the serotonin much easier and quicker. And that's part of what we're seeing in the neuroplasticity. And we're also seeing synapse regrowth. Okay? Fungi Perfecti also, not only do they have that herbal brand of mushroom supplements, but they're also the leading edge of mycoremediation. Plenty of you know about that. We can take mushrooms now and put them on an oil spill, or put them in landfills, or put them in other places where there's something that needs out in our soil or in our environment that needs remediation. And they plant mushroom spores in there, and the next thing you know, the mushrooms start growing, and they eliminate. They're specifically working on oil spills quite a bit. Ecological rehabilitation. And the other thing that they're very involved in, Fungi Perfecti, is, excuse me, I lost it here. Colony collapse disorder. They're working with a group that works with bees in areas where bees all of a sudden aren't where there used to be for all the cross-pollination necessary. They're working with the company to reintroduce bees in the bee-starving areas. Okay? Is that good stuff? I love that. And then the final thing about Fungi Perfecti is that they also have been designated by the U.S. government as a climate positive company, offsetting 110% of its carbon emissions. So it's obviously very ecologically comprehensive. They're really paying attention to how they impact the economy. Fungi perfecti, paying more than the living wage, working with mycoremediation, re-inhabiting bees, being carbon positive, 110%. I mean, you got to shout out the people that are doing what they're doing. I got to shout them out. Give me 5 people that agree with Pops on that one. Good job, Paul. Paul Stammet started that company, along with another 2 that were put in there with it. You guys, right now it's family owned, but if a company like that ever went public with an IPO or something, Pops is going to be standing in line. Okay. Herbie, are you ready to roll? Herbs, you ready to roll? There he is. He was ready. Let me see, Herbie. Your camera is off, Herbie.
How about now?
Huh? No, it's still off. There you are, buddy. There you are, handsome. Okay, give me a second. Herbie won't worry, come up. Right there. Oh, wow. I didn't know I had you magnified. Good morning, Herbie. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you. Now, do you have any device near you that you can read the comments as you go to? Or you
No,
just...
my TV's on downstairs.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
What I'm going to ask is that what I'm going to everyone just let me do the demonstration and explain everything, and then I'll go downstairs and take questions.
Sounds good. The floor's all yours, brother.
All right. Let me see if I can get this short. Hold on.
I see a grow tent behind you.
Okay. Let's see. Did I lose you?
No.
Okay. I'm hearing myself talking to myself, so I'm just going to try to make it as easy as possible.
Okay.
I'm going to stand up and see if I can get the whole tent in the shot.
Good morning, Pacers.
All right. So, I have a 48 by 48 by 80 VivoSun tent. And I've installed a set of shelves. You can see they're chrome. They're just wide enough to fit inside the tent. Each one of the shelves, I have plastic sheeting, and I'll explain that. These are the tubs that I use in here. These are 7-quart gas. They're not gasket tubs, but they have locking tops on them. I use GoV temperature sensors and RH. I use GoV 6500K lights. This is just a basic fan. It has different speeds. And here's the power and the timer control for the lights, etc. This is a GoV HEPA filter. It enters the tent right here. Okay. All right.
Herbie, could you show your we have a new person here that didn't get a good look at your shoebox tub. Can you show that again?
It's a Sterilite, 7-quart.
Okay.
Okay, now
Go back to that, please. Go back to that.
I worked with Dr. Ed Grand. On the design concept, because he and I live in a very similar environment, if you will. I have this tent in an upstairs area of my house, which is controlled with temperature. It's also controlled with humidity. And the temperature, it never drops below 72 degrees and never goes above 75 degrees. The humidity, it never drops below 45 or above 55. Now, that being the case, it allows me to use a technique where I use incontinence pads like these. And I basically spread them out on the shelves. Each shelf with the plastic liner gets a pad. Now, rather than using a humidifier, which I believe can drastically over-humidify your environment, especially if your relative humidity is above 45 or 50%. Now, what I do is I use this fan right here. The fan circulates air around the inside of the tent.
Herbie, do you get the pads wet?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do all this at once. The dogs were barking downstairs.
That's okay.
Yes. Now, the incontinence pads, this is the size that I use. I got them off Amazon. You can use doggy pee pads or whatever you want. Now, like that. What it does is it allows you to maintain moisture on the pads, and they slowly evaporate. And as it evaporates, the fan circulates air, and that slowly circulates air that comes in from the HEPA filter. The HEPA filter is set set to run for 1 hour every 5 hours. Now that's I worked out after using the temperature sensors and the relative humidity, tracking it on the app that it comes with. Now, that's allowed me to notice that with the pads saturated and each one of the shelves having tubs on them, it's allowed me to go from 85 to 90% humidity and drop it down to 60% humidity over time every 5 hours.
Do you have a monitor of a hygrometer in there, or how are you monitoring it?
Yes, the GoVs.
Yep, that's got a
These.
yeah, that's got a hygrometer in it. Perfect.
Right. So what that does is that allowed me to track the swing in humidity over time, and the timer on the lights runs on 12 hours, off 12 hours, irregardless of the time of day, because the tent is its own environment. What this has allowed me to do is not use a humidifier and also rotate the clean air that comes in the bottom where all the carbon dioxide likes to build up and get and shoot it up to the top without directly blowing on any of the tubs.
Do you ever measure the humidity of the inside of an individual tub, or just the whole tent? Because I generally
no, not normally, because they're so small. It can vary, but what I've noticed is that the condensation on the inside, I have to tweak it with the amount of holes that I have in it, depending on which species is in there, or which variant of the species is in there.
And on that tub that you showed us, I don't see filters. Do you run filters, or your HEPA filter on the big fan at the bottom is enough?
No, no, yeah, I do. I run micro tape
over the holes.
Over the hole, yep. And I can also run painter's tape if I feel that it's getting it too dry. But I've never had a problem with that because the humidity in my room combined with the humidity in the tent never swings more than 20 points.
No, I mean that's real good. You've got the macro environment, the room, then you have a micro environment, the tent, and then you have an even micro environment with the tub. And if you're filtering air into the tent and you have filters on your tub, that's staying pretty darn clean.
Right. And I leave the tent closed unless I'm putting water on the pads.
Do you ever spritz the inside
of
your...
I was able to figure out that I needed more fresh air exchange inside the tent was that mildew started to grow on the incontinent pad surfaces. So that told me that the air was too stagnant and I needed to keep it moving more.
So the fan
that was the variant that I was using to gauge how long the HEPA filter needed to run and how much fan I needed inside.
So your big fan at the bottom with the HEPA filter, your input fan, do you have that on some kind of a timer where it pulses?
The fan, the HEPA filter blows in.
Constantly?
Yes, it's
Or
set for 1 hour every 5 hours.
okay. Okay.
Yes, all day, 24 hours.
Okay, but it's
So
but it's only on active 1 hour for every 5.
1 hour every 5. So that's correct. Now that works different. So the GoV temperature sensors work with the GoV humidifier on the same app. I'm sorry, but also the HEPA filter. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah, but no, you're right. The GoV monitors now, you get both temperature and humidity, and you can read them from, from your phone remotely. You don't even have to open the tent to know what's going on in there.
Yes, you can. And the type of temperature sensors that I have they come in a 3-pack from Amazon, and it's the Wi-Fi variant one.
Perfect. Do you have a range on those? Can you read them from away from the house?
Yes, I can. I can do it from outside the house. I can read them anywhere.
That's fantastic.
Yes, I can turn the HEPA filter on and off. Only thing I can't turn off at this point is the lights. But to be honest, I run my substrate. It's such a thickness that whenever I put it in here, I do like one layer of spawn with substrate on top and bottom, and I put it straight in without any time for it to colonize. It rapidly colonizes that way because the amount of airflow that it has, and I put it straight in with the lights and everything.
So let me ask you a question about your tent. When you first started out, you told us it's a 24 by 48 by 48. No, I'm sorry. It's a 48 by 48 by 80.
No, it's a 48 by 48.
Correct. So you almost like have walk-in space.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever run with a 24?
Yes, I can. I can stand in here and I can touch the tubs.
Okay. Have you ever run where the tent is not 48 deep but 24 deep?
I have not, but I know you can do it this way. The only difference is the amount of air circulation has to be reduced because you don't have the same amount of cubic feet of air.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the reason I mention is 48 deep is good, no question about it. Like you've got you're measuring, you're monitoring your setup, so you know what you're doing there. Some people don't have that kind of storage space. So if we could see that same application that you're doing there in a 24 deep tent.
No, and the big thing that I wanted to impress upon all of this is that depending on your grow environment, this may or may not work for you. If you live up north where the heat is on and you have like 35 or 40% humidity in your house, any air you blow in here from outside is going to suck all the humidity out of the air. So you may have to water your pads more often.
Or less often, because you're pushing the humidity in, so you don't need to create as much inside.
What this does is it allows for evaporation and cuts down on the condensation on the inside of the tent.
So up here in the north, when we run a setup like you have there, we don't use tubs on the bottom shelf. We leave the bottom shelf open and put a small, like 12-inch tall digital space heater, and that you figure out. Sometimes you got to have the thing.
I had one of those that almost cooked my tent.
Again, so sometimes you have to work with it to figure out what temperature and will keep the ambient temperature inside the tub at the same. Because just because I put it at 78 down below doesn't mean it's 78 at the top of the tent. So that's where your GoV monitor comes in handy, because see the GoV monitor that he has hanging there, you guys? that will he would here in the north, we'll adjust that bottom space heater to where that hygrometer temperature is reading 74, 75. So, and then of course it's got a thermostat on it, so it'll turn itself on and off and keep the temperature inside there. Sometimes you have to heat it up to 80 degrees to get it to be 75 in the room, in the tent. And sometimes less, especially in the summer. So sometimes in the summer you turn it way down. But a space heater at the bottom of this inside the tent.
Is Marty still here?
What's that? Yeah, that's very nice.
That's one of his Colorado Micro League pins.
Oh, that's from Nerdy, you said?
Yes.
Okay. We have a little bit of a lag between you and me.
Right. Now, the biggest thing that I've been able to do with the HEPA filter is that you can get inline 4-inch fans and run them off of controllers and all that, but the concept is positive pressure. So this HEPA filter has allowed me to run the tent with positive pressure. So when it cuts on, it takes about 5 minutes, but the sides of the tent puff out.
So you know that it's like in its hour on cycle just by looking at the tent.
Right. Well, I can hear it going too. But what it does is it pushes out air. Through the bottom slat, where I put a filter down there too. The tent's not active right now. That's why it's empty.
No, I mean, you're using it to demonstrate your setup. It's very nice. It's pretty typical, except for you're using that diaper tech, which is it's tricky to get it started, to dial in your numbers. But once you have it, you have it. That's a great way to go, and you don't have to be spending, a day every single day going in and doing misting with an atomizer or something. So you'd only use that for emergency situations. That's pretty good.
Right. Well, you can if you like to, but I've found that the more times you open those the tubs, the more likely you are to contaminate something inside of there.
Well, that's what bothers me about standing inside the tent too, though. You know what I mean? I've always ran a 24-inch deep, always.
Right. Well, normally, yeah. The when I go inside the tent and I shut it behind me.
Yeah, but you're going in there with all of the world's stuff on you. You know what I mean? It's not like you're in a hazmat suit.
Right. I used to take a shower and come in butt naked, if you really want to be honest.
Oh, that's lovely. Please, that's too much information there, Herbie. Okay? No, kidding you. On the water that you put on your pads, is it just regular tap water or distilled water?
Distilled.
Okay.
No, it's distilled water. Always distilled water.
Good. You're killing it over there, bro. It looks great. Super clean. Great stuff. And, some of these people have never actually seen a setup live like this before.
I've also figured out that the smaller these are, the more of them you can put in here. And also, I can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12 boxes in here.
Okay. Did you want to tell us?
That's 1 pound of spawn per box. So I can put 12 pounds of spawn in here.
And how much substrate do you put in the box?
I was running 2 to
Okay, so it's 2 pounds of substrate, 1 pound of grain spawn. And then what size is your tub again?
This is a 7-quart.
Okay. Okay. So it comes up to what, about 2-3 inches inside the tub?
About right there.
That's perfect. Right below that side exhaust hole. That's perfect. Yep. Moving some oxygen around in that baby.
Now, a 54-quart tub will fit on this shelf, but a 54 will fit in here. That's how I measured how high the shelves are going to be. But that's so much grow space and so much possibility of problems. I like having more redundancy. Okay, well, I can end the call now and flip back over and take questions.
Okay, go ahead. Can you read the questions at your end, or should I be reading them to you? That was very nice. It's good to see the actual physical thing. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, we think he's gone downstairs. Oh, that's right. He's going to go downstairs and read them off of his TV screen. Okay. Are you guys ready for the quiz? Are you guys ready for the quiz? That's good. The one thing that in there, the pads, the wetted pads, those are a great tech. It takes a little while to dial it in and make sure that the humidity's working, and your humidity will fluctuate as those pads dry. But it sounds like, once you start really paying attention, which is one of the greatest things about growing mushrooms on the planet, is once you start, I don't know, man, you grow as a human being because, A, you have something to do, you have a beautiful, positive hobby that's going to end up providing medicine for you and family and friends, and you start really getting in touch with nature. How's nature really working? And we're mimicking outside in these micro environments and just being, I wear a lab coat whenever I'm around anything to do with my mushrooms. Keep them clean. I have 5 different ones over on a rack at my grow house. And because it's a huge basement area, we wear booties and we do all kinds of stuff to really mitigate bringing in microorganisms that are going to cause contamination. But you're just constantly aware of how you're impacting the environment and how we can tweak it scientifically to come up with our best possible grows. It's the GoV app that Herbie's got there. It's phenomenal. I think I've showed it to you guys before. You literally can track what the temperature is, where that monitor is, and what the humidity is. And it keeps it on a graph line. I can go back and at the end of the day look at, was there a spike somewhere in my humidity? Was there a spike in my temperature, lower or higher? And it tracks it for a week, for a month, for a year. So it's really extraordinary. So if that looks like people forget that Craigslist, you don't have to, you don't have to go and buy a tent brand new. You can get tents because people start a grow, usually a marijuana grow, but they start something and then that tent ends up going out to the garage, and eventually, and Temu, you're saying Temu has good prices. I didn't know, I should know more about Temu. But you can, Herbie said that whole setup costs a little less than $300. Probably his two most expensive things in there were that blow fan on the bottom, 6-inch input fan with a HEPA filter, and the tent itself, probably. And then don't forget stainless steel. When you're running a rack inside a shelving, you're going to want to use either stainless steel or some of those black plastic ones from Home Depot work really well too. Okay? He wrote, it's a tent, then the filter, then the sensors, then the rack, and then timers. You know, he's going to have a timer on the clip fan that's inside. I don't think he runs that 24, but he might. He's got to have a timer on the fan down below, and he's got to have a timer on the lights. Those Go V string lights, perfect setup how he has it. We do that exact same thing. We even tape Go V string lights on the walls around our grow house, so they're not just getting light from straight above the fruit, but they're also getting it in the sides of the tubs. Try to full surround. Not necessary inside of a reflective tent, just getting those lights on above, get light in from the side too. Okay. How do you clean the grow lights? I would use a Lysol spray and sponge them down with clean sponges. But I've never really had to clean the grow lights. It's a good question, but I don't know that I've even had that, because there's not a lot coming in there that's dirty. But anything that you're looking for in this realm right here, look on Craigslist first. You can get fans on Craigslist. You can get the tent on Craigslist. You can get racks, shelving on Craigslist, all for very much cheaper than you can buy brand new. The Go V monitors, you want those brand new. I think you can get a pack of 3 for right around $30. And that's nice because you can have different monitors in different areas and you can track them all on your phone in one program. Okay? So, reasonably, I could see somebody coming up with a setup like that for $150. If you spend a little time on Craigslist and you spend $5 in gas. Yep, the positive pressure that's exactly what it is. It's because you're blowing fan in. Positive pressure means that he's pushing air into the tent. And the good news about those grow tents, they're not super leaky. So it'll maintain its air without really ballooning it out and losing it, especially if you're pulsing it in there. Our thing over where we are, we pulse air in half an hour every 4 hours. But we also have bigger fans, bigger filters, and a much larger area to cover. But as long as you're pulsing air in and then have other fans that are keeping it circulated, that's the key. Because out in the world, air is always moving. Not quite like in Jamaica, but it's always moving. And it's moving at a very light breeze. Just think about the morning breeze across your lawn, and all of a sudden mushrooms show up. That's what you're looking for. Just good stuff, Herbie. People really appreciated that. Anthony says, don't buy cheap shoes and don't buy cheap tents. Okay. VivoSun is my favorite brand, the one that he's running there. I've tried a lot of different brands. Not a lot, because there's not a lot. Maybe 3 or 4. And I always reverted back to the VivoSun. So that was a perfect place to get it. And if brand new on Amazon, you could get 48 wide, like 24 deep, by 80 tall. Brand new, I think you can get them for $80. And you can, I see them on Craigslist every single day, $10, $15, $20 a piece. Okay? and go over to their house, and there's probably going to be a fan there. He probably has timers. They have other things that they were using that they'll either throw in or you can pick up for super cheap. So anybody that's downsizing or removing their grow situation, they're going to have a lot of stuff you could like. Okay? Michael, no, you don't have to turn the tub. The way Herbie is set up there, he's got light coming in from the top, and because of the reflective property inside the tent, because it's a reflection inside, that'll bounce the light all the way around, and he's going to get plenty of light in the side. If you're running it in your basement, having it on the top is probably not enough. It is. Your mushrooms are still going to head to the light. The real reason for light is because that just tells your mushroom which direction to grow towards. If my light was over here, my mushrooms would all be turning sideways and heading to the light. So putting it on a string on top of each shelf is making sure all of his tubs have light going into the top. And he's also getting it reflected in the sides. If you're in a darker area, bigger space, we run some string lights on the wall, just tape them to the wall. So we're also getting light coming in from the sides. And he just said he had his lights turned up to the max so he could see them, but they don't need to be that bright, and he's right. Typically just a dim light will work. That's a big tent there, huh, Nurse? Yeah, that's basically a laboratory. Okay? Nurse has got a tent, 96 by 48 by 80. Yeah. That's basically a laboratory. That's nice. Her big, just making sure that, you can hear Ruffy. You're so cute, Niff. He's saying, Pops, it's 10, almost 10:10. Aren't we going for a ride? He's literally at the back door waiting for his car ride. That guy, do your dogs have timers, you guys? They have automatic timers? He's like so dialed in. It's 6 o'clock, it's time for dinner. It's 10 after 10, your show's usually over. Are we going for a ride? Okay. I don't know, it's a bad habit that I got him in. And now I have to take him for a ride. Okay, your cats have them too? Okay? I love my dog. I love my dog. Herbie, thank you for today. You did a great job, my friend. You're a good communicator, handsome fella, and you gave us a whole lot of information. And thanks for letting us into your house. I'm going to end up with 3 or 4 quick sayings. It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. I'm still dialed in on donations and trying to help people out right now. The needs in our community are going up. We had plenty of people that were in need. Our needs are going up. It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into our giving. Mother Teresa. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. Anne Frank said, no one has ever become poor by giving. I love that. Because typically we're going to give all our excess, right? Nobody's asking you to go starving while you feed me. But if you have an extra apple, you're not going to go poor if you give it away. I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver. Much truth there. Nelson Mandela said that. Khalil Gibran. You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. I'll close it with that. Let's be givers. Let's be givers. Find a way to give. And it isn't always money. Don't default to, oh, I'm broke, I can't give. Not so fast, my friends. Not so fast. You have a phone? You could be giving a lot of love to people. Just picking up a phone and making a random phone call. Hey, haven't talked to you in a while. How are things going? Some people are lonely. Give them time. Give a part of your heart. Give your knowledge, like Herbie just did. Herbie just donated. That's a very, very, very a wonderful form of donation. He exposed himself. He made sure everything was clean and set up. Took the time to dial it all up for us. Got himself looking great as usual. And spent a half hour of his time donating knowledge along with the time that he gave. That's a form of donating. Mentoring. There's lots of ways to give, you guys. Okay? 4 things, and we'll get out of here for today. Tomorrow's going to be great. I agree, Anthony. He's a handsome fella. 4 things. Be impeccable with your word and your action. If you don't say something you don't mean, and mean everything you say. Avoid gossip. Avoid slander. Try to avoid cussing as much as you can. Cussing's just dirty. And usually it's just there's other words in our vocabulary we can use. We do it, and I do it too, because it's what we were taught. It's what we hear all the time. But when you can find other words instead of those, that's an important skill. Feel the F word coming right on your tongue and go, let me say fudge instead. Okay? Just basic little things. Clean up our tongue. Clean up our mouths. Okay? Don't take things personal. It's a skill. Got to practice it. You practice it long enough, you start going, man, I'm getting ready to take this personal. Did it 2 days ago, when I was sad. Let me tell you what I did real quick. I'm reading these people's posts that are being dismissive, laughing at, telling people that are on stamp cards, food cards, well, you're a lazy bum. Why don't you go earn your food like I do? Stuff like that. I'm reading these. I started taking them personal. They weren't aimed at me. I'm not on a food stamp. But you know what? Two people. Pops sat there and wrote a comment. Back to the poster. I'm some random guy in Michigan that shouldn't even be impacted by their crap. But I felt the need to be defensive. And it wasn't bad what I said back. I basically just said back, not everybody's as fortunate. Something like that. But I got involved. Enough that I thought I needed to say something. And I sit here and tell you guys, don't take things personal. That's a form of taking something personal. What that person says and does is none of my business. I shouldn't even be reading the post. Shouldn't give it the time of day. You know what I did? It took me about 3 hours. And I'm like looking back and I'm sad. And then I said, you know what? Thank goodness IG has a thing where you could go to push on your comment and delete it. I said, I need to delete that. I gotta delete those stupid replies. And they weren't stupid. They were from my kind heart, and I wasn't being mean to the person. I was asking the person to be nicer. And then I thought, you know what? It's none of my business. I'm taking his post personal. We do it. The good news is 3 hours. It only took 3 hours for me to click. Go, did you really do that? Did you really dive in? Did you really have to take that guy personal? Oh, yeah, the lobster butter had me all messed up. Oh, I was like, you know what? I don't need to go there. Thank goodness I could go back. Because in life, you can't always go back and delete your comment, can you? In life, sometimes we make those comments, and they weren't negative about the person or anything. I was just asking them to have more compassion, just be more compassionate. But then they could take that personal. Oh, yeah? Who, you're trying to shame me? Or you? No, it's not what I was doing. And because I took it personal, you're going to take it personal. And then I'm going to take it personal. And then we're going to all be personal. So I have, luckily, so, the reason I tell you guys that is to tell you how human I am, but how beautiful it feels to see when you're taking something personal. I'm that dialed in now. Just some of our comments, whether we think that they're well-meaning, well-intended or not, might not be received that way. And I didn't even have to say a word. So I'll be able to, so I'm just teaching myself as I teach you guys. Don't take things personal, Pops. Don't make assumptions. I could go on and on about that, but we don't have time today. And finally, do your best, just like Herbie did today. Do your best. He just said, next time I'm going to do even better. Have it set up where I can read the comments myself. However it works out, just the man dialed it up and did his best today. And we want to thank him. Okay, you guys? Don't take things personal. It's easy. It gets sneaky. You just, oh man, I got to weigh in on this one. This is my business now. No, my business is to help the people I know and reach out and do a little bit more. Okay? Let me scroll you guys out of here. Paige, your boyfriend. Hope you two are adorable. Nephew, it's so good to see you and know everybody's hearing you now. Captain Obvious, we can be positive with our words. I agree. But I don't know that those people are ready to listen. Aaron and Daniel and Must Love Music and Michael Patterson. Liberation in Life, Pitfalls Become Transformed. I love it. Captain Obvious, Jesus Christ in Australia. Kim and Niffy and Pidgey Page and Captain and Herbie Von Werby. Great job, Birdie. Niffy and Jesus Christ and Much Love and Mr. Marmars. Nippy and Joe D's and Cleany and Jesus and HB and Captain and Mr. Marmars and Herbs and Michael Patterson's. Opinions matter not. Deeds do. Sounds like a Yoda's here. Much Love Music, Sammy P, Mike Butterball, Billy D, Nurs, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for your firesider. Pidgey Page, your boyfriend knows best. Anthony Hunt, all men know best. Let's see, Anthony Hunt and Jesus and Emily and Billy D and Mike Butterball and Nip and Kim and Mushlove and Hags. Thank you, Haggy. Mr. Mars and Jesus and Herbs and Jesus and Cyber Jolie. Billy D. Mike Butterball, Trenty the Trenty Trenterson. Exceptions having a wonderful day. Shroom Digger. Kim and Cleany and Calico Meow Kitty. Thank you, my good man. A Pidgey and Emily / Daniel. Captain. Zozo LSD, Nippy Joe, Classic, have a great day. Your package is going out this morning. Nippy, Kitty Cat, Mr. Marmar, Sammy P, Piggy Page. Do not tell him I said that. Okay, Casino. Pops said. Get out of here, you guys. Go have a wonderful day. Find somewhere to give. And it doesn't have to be money, but it has to be you and your heart and your time and your knowledge and space in your life. Pops out.